Welcome to Attention Talk Video, where we pay attention to attention. Now, here's your host, Jeff Copper.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and attention coach, Jeff Copper. Wow, today's video is going to be a little bit intense. If you're a new listener, it's going to boom, maybe over your head. If you've been a long-time listener, maybe you'll follow it. But if you know me, you know I'm a big fan of Dr. Russell Barkley's definitions of executive function. I think it's his model is amazing. It has repeatable patterns explained by the model and explains a lot of stuff. One of the things in his model talks about what we call is nonverbal working memory. By the way, executive functions are a collection of mind tools that you use to solve problems. Okay. Nonverbal working memory is basically self-talk. We all have a narrative that's going on in our head that we use when we're trying to solve problems. So many people with ADHD, if you've ever noticed, they talk a lot. Well, why is that? Well, if your nonverbal working memory is impaired, sometimes not to talk is not to think. Often people with ADHD, they're talking to you. Sometimes they are talking to you, but other times they're thinking to themselves, right? These are the type of people that walk up and talk. They'll solve their own problem without the other person saying anything. Now, understand that nobody taught these people how to do this. They're rewarded with higher levels of performance. So they do it instinctively. I've coached people with this. Oh, by the way, we call these people verbal processors. I'm not so sure it's the greatest label, but I don't know how it got adopted. I didn't create it. I just kind of use it. So I have a lot of people with ADHD. Well, you're a verbal processor. I mean, you need to talk out loud. And they were like, well, can't I just talk to myself? And, you know, everybody, by the way, they want to do that because they want to have to talk out loud. Which is a part of owning your ADHD. And, it works sometimes, like maybe 10% of the people. But one of the things that you're missing when you're talking to somebody and they're listening to you, there's a lot of nonverbal communication that's taking place. Like if you're saying something to them and it doesn't make sense, they kind of look kind of you like, that didn't make any sense, or wow, that makes a lot of sense. And so you're getting feedback in terms of what you're talking. I have had some people where they talk out loud as if I'm in the room. But anyway, where I am today is recently I had a client that I was kind of working with, trying to help them begin to understand this. And the cool part about coaching is sometimes I'll stumble into something and find out they've been kind of doing it their entire life, which means I'm on to something. And so that brings puppets, right? I'm having a hard time with my blue screen. Let me put this in front of you. And it's a new thing. Is when you're actually have two puppets and you're talking here to yourself, you have a narrative. You're talking, hey, we should go do this. Well, wait a second. Will the store actually be open? Well, I didn't think about it. I guess not. When you're playing two sides of this and talking, you're having a dialogue outside of your head. If you're just talking to yourself or acting like I'm there, you're not having a two-way. And so for some, I'm suspecting like maybe another 20%. So we have some people are verbal processors. They need to talk out loud with somebody. Some people, they can get away 10% of the time where they're talking to themselves, or they're on a cell phone acting like they're talking to somebody, or acting like I'm in the room. But I'm going to guess, and again, I'm guessing right now because this is the first time I've stumbled into it, is that if you were like talking to yourself, like with puppets, you're actually externalizing your thinking. See, ADHD is really a problem-solving impairment when you're done in mind. Having this dialogue right here is doing it out of mind. By the way, people with ADHD are as intelligent as anybody else. The issue is not you don't have to worry about worrying or daydreaming or stuff like that. It's problem solving. So this notion of using puppets to talk out loud to yourself, at least for one client recently, it's been a revelation, and I think for others. So I wanted to share that. Which, by the way, as an aside, how do you come up with content for YouTube? I get most of it from my clients. This is one of them. So anyway, I hope this give you a pause to think if maybe you identify with it, give it a shot. Or if you talk a lot, maybe get a whirl. It might work. If you're new to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. And if you're an existing viewer, have you ever done this? Have you tried it? Just give us some feedback, whatever. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Attention Talk Video. Take care.